everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, I thought I'd do something just a little bit different than my normal Disney videos that I've been making the past couple of weeks. So for anyone who knows me in real life or follows me on social media, whether it be like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, any of those, I've been pretty vocal about my life in the past 3 months, and I've shared a lot of it with the world and with my followers and my friends. So I guess with like social media being such a huge role in everyday life, it's pretty hard for people to not know what's going on in everyone's everyday life and like what exactly people are going through, and especially when people post about their life often, as I have been doing in the past 3 months, as well as like my family and how quickly word travels. Everyone kind of knows like what's up and what's going on. So along with all of the posting that I've been doing, I've gotten hundreds and hundreds of messages of people kind of opening up to me, which I was not really expecting, about my posts and how much they've helped other people kind of get through what they've been going through. And that was really, to be totally honest, not my intent in the beginning, not to sound like selfish or anything. I was just posting because, to post, I guess you could say. But with all of my Instagram posts and Facebook posts, I've had a lot of personal messages or direct messages coming my way of people saying thank you for posting, and I guess helping them realize different aspects of their own life that they haven't really come to in their own life or haven't really realized beforehand. So I think that plays a huge role in why I'm making this video today and what I will be sharing with you guys. With all of these messages coming in and all of these direct messages, I've really realized that like no one is alone in what they're feeling, and that your feelings really aren't unique even as much as you think they are. A lot of people have gone through similar experiences that I've gone through in the past 3 months in their own lives, and like you're just not alone. And that's what I've realized. I've spoken to many people who I've never met before, and now I've become very close with or have become closer in my life that have gone through very similar experiences that I've gone through. And it just kind of puts life into perspective that you're not alone in what you're going through or like what you're feeling, and that all of your feelings are 100% valid, and that you are not the first person to experience these things, and you are 100% not the last person to experience them either. So the other day I posted on my Instagram story just kind of how I was feeling that night, and it was a series of little videos, probably around, I don't know, like 2 minutes long, and I wasn't really sure if I should post it or not, and it was kind of just about my feelings and how I've been feeling the past few days or few weeks, and I got close to 60 direct messages in response to my posting. And that's why I thought I'd make a little bit of a longer video today, because people had gone off of Instagram, went to just directly texting me, and I mean there were plenty on Instagram, but I thought I would just make this video a little bit longer because I don't know, I just didn't want to bombard people on Instagram. And I don't know, if you wanted to watch this video, you're more than welcome to, and just to see if maybe your feelings relate to how I'm feeling, or if you're going through a hard time in your life, that maybe some of these realizations that I've come to, you've come to as well, and maybe it could help you get through them. So everything in this video is 100% my own opinions, my own feelings, my own experience with life, and I have no medical background or nothing that proves that any of this is valid for other people, but this is what I have gone through. And I've just gotten so many messages of people saying that they have had a hard month or a hard week or a hard day, and that I have motivated them, which felt really, really good, I'm not gonna lie. And that I just think that putting my feelings out into the world might be of some help to some people. I don't know. I hope it could be. So without further ado, I came up with 4 realizations that I've come to in my life the past few weeks and few months, and I just thought, I guess I'd share them with the world. So the other day when I had posted on Instagram, it was basically about just being more grateful in my life. So that's the biggest realization that I've come to the past few weeks, is to be more vocally grateful and to express how grateful you are to others and how much they mean to you. And like I had stated, I have so much love in my heart for the people around me and for my family and my friends and for all of these new people that I've met who have become close now to me and my family. But sometimes I have a really hard time like expressing it or getting it out, and that's one thing that I had wished I did with my dad a little bit more, was express vocally how much he meant to me and how much everything he did for me like meant to me. As most people knew, my dad coached me in soccer for every single soccer team that I ever played on, like literally every single team. And even if he wasn't coaching me, like back when I played basketball, he was still coaching from the sidelines. He took me to almost every single practice, every single game. He was always there on the sidelines. He even followed me into high school when I had volunteered him to be my soccer coach there when they needed a coach. All of my travel games, my CYO games. He was at every sports event that I've ever played at. He took me to sporting events, all soccer tournaments, all everything. And even if it wasn't sports related, he still drove me like everywhere that I really needed to go, especially in the past year or two with college. He would drive me back and forth on the weekends if I needed a ride, or he would pick me up if I like wanted to come home, and he would drive me back to school on Sunday nights. And these are only just a few things that my dad had done for me. And not just me, for everyone else, from both my sisters, for my mom, for my grandparents, like pretty much everyone in my life my dad did so much for. And within the past few months, people have been honoring my dad and have been inviting me and my mom and my sisters to a lot of events to go to, and have just been very straightforward in saying how much my dad meant to them and how much he had done for them. But I think this just goes above and beyond my situation and my family situation, in that people appreciate, I guess, other people once they're no longer here. And that I think in general, people can kind of do like a better job being more vocally thankful and grateful for people while they're still here, whether it be a family member or even like when a celebrity passes away or like a singer or something like that. People then start to praise them for how great their acting was or for their singing. But in this case, a lot of people have been saying how great my dad is. And yeah, we all knew it like when he was still here, but I just don't think that we kind of get caught up in our everyday lives and we don't really formally, or I don't know, like express how thankful and how grateful we are. And I think that's something that I definitely am working on and working towards. And I think just in general, maybe people could work at being better at that too. Like if someone in your life, you're really appreciative of them and you think it in your head, maybe just like say it out loud. Or even if you're just really appreciative to your friends that you see almost every day or very, very often, just like let them know how much you love and appreciate them, because life really does change in the blink of an eye. And it is so crazy, but it's really, really true. Going off of that, my second point is that, you know, tomorrow is never guaranteed. And I don't mean to say that in like a scary way, but it is really true. Like, tomorrow just is not guaranteed for anyone. And something I guess that you could practice or make sure that you don't do in regards to this is, like, don't go to sleep angry at someone, or if you get into an argument with someone, always try to make sure that you clear up the situation before you go to sleep or before you part with them for a while, or maybe if you aren't going to see them, make sure that you leave off on good terms, because you really never know what tomorrow brings or will bring. And yeah, tomorrow just really is never guaranteed. And I really don't mean to say it to scare anyone, but it is the sad truth. And I have 100% learned that the past 3 months. And so going to bed angry with someone or upset with someone or going to sleep after you have a disagreement with them. I would just try to make sure that you settle those disputes before you part ways, like I said before. Number 3 on my list is something that I've had a very hard time, or I guess I've kind of gotten over it now, a few months later, but in the beginning, when everything was fresh and new, that I had a really hard time grasping the concept of is that life moves on no matter what happens. And that even in your life, if your world seems to stop for a certain period of time, that everything around you just keeps moving, and that the world does not stop for you or for anyone. And this was something really hard for me to understand, especially being in college in such a fast-paced environment in the middle of the semester when my world seemed to stop, but classes still went on, homeworks were still due, exams were still in place, papers were still due, classes were still going on, like every single day. It was really hard for me to accept the fact that like not everyone is gonna stop exactly what they're doing and mourn with you. And that although a lot of people have been mourning and were mourning at the same time as me, it's very different for an immediate family. Whereas if you're a few people removed from like the tragedy, if that makes sense. And that even though everyone takes grief in a different way, like life just keeps moving on. And it's a really sad reality because I wished that everything would just stop for me, which is really selfish to say, but I guess if you've experienced it, you kind of know. And that I just wish that everyone would stop and would just stop what they're doing and just mourn in the way I was mourning. I just did not want to go to school, did not want to go to class, but everything kept going. Like, not everyone is in my world, you know? And that just goes for everything, in that no matter what you're going through, that life will move on. I woke up the next day and the day after and the day after. I'm still waking up every morning, and I went to classes, I finished up school, I took my exams, I made up exams, I had to do what I had to do, but life does move on. If you just think about everything in your life that has happened, whether it be something super tragic or just a bad experience, or maybe even as small as like a bad grade on homework or an exam or something like that, just realize that life does move on, and that, you know, you will get through like whatever it is. And at first it might seem like life should not move on, and how could it move on, because that's definitely how I felt. Maybe it's different for you if you've experienced the loss of someone very, very close to you, but I was just like, there's no way life is gonna move on. How am I supposed to just get up every morning? And when I say that, that was probably the hardest thing that I had to overcome, was waking up in the morning. And if you've ever experienced it, you know. If you have never experienced it, it's very hard to explain the feeling to someone, that you open your eyes in the morning and for a split second, you think that it was all a bad dream. But then after that split second is over, you realize that it is reality, and that this event has really happened to you, and then this is your life from here on out and for forever. That, you know, that was the hardest part for me, was waking up in the morning. And I thought it would never end. I thought that feeling would never go away. And don't get me wrong, it still happens sometimes, but it was constant. It was every day. I would not want to wake up in the morning because of how horrible this feeling was. But here I am, over 3 months later. 3 months have gone by, and this feeling is almost gone. And I know it will continuously come back for the rest of my life. There will be bad days, and there are bad days, and I'm not saying that there aren't, but this was a major point that has showed me that life does go on, because I did not think that the feeling would ever go away, and how could it, waking up without my dad here every day. But like I said, 3 months have gone by and I have gotten that feeling to kind of go away in the slightest bit. So the last point that I have and have been like, you know, reflecting on the past few weeks is that you can't let your past rule the way you live now and rule the future. I could have for the past 3 months, and not just me, but my mom and my sisters and my family members, we all could sit and sulk in our house and in our bed and never get up. And let me tell you, that is what I 100% wanted to do. Why should I have gotten up? You know, why should I have left my house? And it took a while for me to realize it, and a lot of help from my mom to realize that you can either sit and sulk in your house and use a tragic event or experience or something bad going on in your life as an excuse to hinder you from moving on, or you can use it and move on in a positive way, and in a way in which you can understand others better and accept other people how they are, and to understand what they've gone through in their life. My dad had passed away on a Friday, and that Monday, 3 days later, I had gone to school. That was the last thing that I wanted to do. But my mom looked at me and she said, you can either sit in the house all day and cry, or you can get up and realize that this is your life now and that you have to keep going. And obviously we were all beyond sad. We are still beyond sad. And going to school that one day in that whole week, because the rest of the week I did not go to school, but getting up and going to school on that Monday was a foot in the right direction. And after that, I slowly got myself into going back to school. I kept telling myself, and my mom kept telling me, if you get through one class, it's an accomplishment. If you're able to sit through a 50-minute class, an hour and a half class, it's an accomplishment. And to just be at school away from my family was an accomplishment. In my 20 years of life so far, I have had, it's sad to say, but multiple traumatic or experiences in which I have grieved for a significant amount of time, and I could have let my past define my future as something that is sad, has no point to it, a very dark life that I live, or I could get up every morning and try to find the good in the day, which is what I do 100% try to do. And I think that if you take anything away from this video, it is that there is so much good in the day, and that you will always find it if you look for it. If you sit and sulk and feel bad and sorry for yourself, you're not gonna find it. But if you just find joy in the really small things in life, then you 100% will be on the right path, or your future will be in the right direction. And I really do believe that. One joy that I found in my days after my dad passing away is that I have become so much closer with a lot of people in my life. Now, do I wish that I did? No offense. Not really, because if I could turn back time and go back and change everything that happened, I would in a heartbeat, just to have my dad here with us again. But I have become close with so many people that I never would have thought I would before, and I would not have become close with these people if these events in my life didn't happen. So I guess that, well, I know that it is one huge joy in my life, knowing that I have so many new friends and people that I consider really close to my family. And like I said, it never would have happened. So although I at first didn't really know what God's plan was for us when everything had happened, I think this is my new path in finding joy in really small things in life, even if it is just talking to new people every day. And yeah, so that's all I have for today, for today's video. I hope maybe this could help you realize things in your life, or help you overcome things in your life. I spent a lot of time on YouTube and on the internet looking for someone around my age who has gone through similar events in their life to try to help me cope or help me, you know, find someone relatable and someone who's not, you know, like 45 and have a degree in psychology, or someone who's a therapist on YouTube. And I hope this helps some people come to a realization in their life and maybe help them cope with grief or help them cope with whatever is going on in their life. So I guess if you did enjoy this video, or if it did help you in the slightest way, leave a comment down below and, you know, let me know how you cope with grief, because I am on this journey for the rest of my life, and this is an ongoing process that will continue every single day, and I would just love to know how other people take the events that go on in their life. So thank you so much for watching if you have made it to this point, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!